YouTube is a fantastic platform, right? I mean, just think of it right now. You right now are listening to me tell you that YouTube is great. And you're like, yeah, of course I know this, Matt. I know YouTube is great. But what about when YouTube is used for something bad, like false information or something that could potentially kill someone? What do you do about it then? Well, you should, honest to God, probably alert some people that that stuff is not very good. And YouTube is not always aware of all the bad things that happen, despite people thinking that they are, or that they're targeting certain things or leaving certain things alone. YouTube is a massive, massive company with a lot that goes into it. 500 hours of content uploaded every single minute now. Not 400. Now it's 500, which is a lot more. But anyway, this isn't good. Because one of the biggest problems I personally see with YouTube is this whole nonsense involving natural cures, right? The holistic approach to certain things. I'm not against holistic healing. There's some benefits to mind over matter in many of these cases. But when you start seeing this miracle mineral solution part come up, and it quite frankly is just bleach masquerading as something that's going to fix everything, or in one case, you could drink a very, very, very heavily sodium-based drink that has the ability to cure the gay and also grow back a limb, theoretically. That is a woman who produces a product called the Jilly Juice, and I would revert you to my friend Jeff Holiday, who has a whole series about it, and it's crazy. But right now, what we're seeing is bleach is being peddled as a miracle autism cure on YouTube. And I'm sorry, if you drink bleach to cure autism, you're kind of a moron. I'm just going to be fair on that one here. And if you're a parent who gives it to your child, there's a special place in hell for you. Just special place in hell. We're talking razor blades and lemon wedges, you know what I mean? Anyway, it says here, hundreds of videos that promote bleach as a cure for autism have been removed or discovered on YouTube. Well, they've been there for a while, to be fair. I mean, to be fair, a lot of us have known, and people call it out quite frequently. So the BBC is getting to this one a little bit on the late side. Not like, hey, you're a couple weeks late, BBC. You a few damn years. But their reach is bigger than some YouTubers talking about this kind of dangerous shit. And so we'll have to wait and see what happens. Because we know YouTube does respond when there's a giant news media backlash against a particular thing that is harmful to people. So I would say that if you are in the holistic autism curing bleach drink part of YouTube, you might want to move to Vimeo or BitChute, which apparently has zero standards. Anyway, the substance, which is peddled as a miracle mineral solution, has reportedly caused dozens of injuries and 2 deaths in the United States. According to an investigation by technology news site Business Insider, some appeared in the top 3 search results for autism cure. And it's not just autism cure. It's like cancer cure, diabetes cure. I mean, this is the kind of crap. There was a story I covered a while back about a YouTuber who was like a vegan, holistic YouTuber who had cancer and claimed that this kind of stuff cured her of her cancer. And guess what she died from? Cancer. Yeah, just let that one sink in for a second, right? Anyway, YouTube removed most of them after they were reported by the publication. Business Insider journalist Tom Porter said he was taken aback by the popularity of some of these videos, which promote MMS. I almost read that as MSN or MSM, which could probably also be argued as causing autism, as a cure for a range of conditions, including malaria and cancer. If you've played Far Cry 2, it's not bleach that cures malaria. It's an antidote. Anyway, people who were just looking for broad information on autism or malaria were pushed these videos. It will have been promoted to people who have never heard of it. He found that the top 20 videos promoting MMS on YouTube had more than 3 million views. Some ran advertisements that linked to pages where users could buy the substance. Yeah. Well, because, I mean, this is the whole thing. YouTube is like a business apparatus, it is an extension of one's business. Have you ever looked at what Jake Paul does? It's clearly marketing on here. Patreon.com/Matt Jarbo. But it's all marketing. YouTube reportedly told Business Insider that it does not proactively search for content that violates its policies, but that it has changed its algorithms to prevent MMS videos from appearing in search results, which, again, doesn't stop you from finding these videos, right? There's a lot of communities out there, a lot on Facebook. A few months ago, and this is legitimately true, I was at YouTube's creator space in LA for a 2-day training seminar. And I ended up having a conversation with a girl who was there representing a company who ran a very successful YouTube channel that were anti-vaxxers. And this is the kind of stuff, she wasn't preaching this per se, but it was a lot in the same, the same vein. And she completely believed it. She completely believed in everything that this company was putting out there, that all the messaging about this kind of stuff was true. And I was like, you are a very nice person, and I am enjoying our conversation about the platform. But when we get into the nitty gritty of work, I don't know how to deal with you. And that's very true. She was very nice, but she was just like, wow. Anyway, it says here that Porter says, my understanding is that they're not monitoring their own site in order to remove videos which contravene their policies. Again, going back to what I had said before, 500 hours of content uploaded every single minute. When it was 400 hours of content uploaded every single minute, that translated to 72 years per day. I don't even know what this one's up to now, because I don't want to do the math right now, but it's a lot. It's like a generation per day, man. Their bots can process only so much. And they're smart, and they're getting smarter, which is ultimately going to impact a lot of people negatively. But still, this is where we find this massive pushback of like, well, what about this? Well, you can't always win. It says here, the activists I've spoken to said that's not good enough. They have a responsibility to uphold their own policies so they don't broadcast dangerous information to millions of people across the world. I guess look, okay, I'm going to play devil's advocate for one hot second here, but like, who's for YouTube to decide what's dangerous? There is a problem with that. If you're telling someone to drink bleach to cure autism, clearly that is dangerous. But if you're giving a theory on something that's not necessarily considered dangerous, like, who gets to make that call? We saw this with the Alex Jones thing. We saw this with Alex Jones being targeted for things that he had said. Now, the reason why Alex Jones was ultimately banned from the platform was not because of what he had said, but because he had been circumventing his live stream restrictions onto other channels, and that's what they got him for. So it's like, not walking away there all squeaky clean. But it is an issue. It is an issue that, like, we have to ask ourselves, what gives them the moral authority to make that claim? But it is a private company. It is a private platform. And then the question then becomes, well, should this become a public utility because it's so intrinsic to our society? And that's what we're hearing now about Facebook breaking it up and everything else. So the next couple of years in regards to social media and YouTube and everything else is going to be very fascinating if the government gets involved. Very, very fascinating if the government gets involved. Now, YouTube has faced heavy criticism for surfacing divisive content and conspiracy theories with its algorithms. In January, it published a blog post promising to combat recommendations for borderline content in categories that include videos promoting phony miracle cures for a serious illness. Well, if you're okay, and this is going to get me in some trouble, but I'm just going to say it and I don't care. If you take down videos promoting bleach drinking to cure autism, can you take down videos from preachers talking about the power of prayer to fix bodies? Because I kind of feel it's like the same level. I do. Have your faith, but understand where there's limits. It was just shocking to me that there was such a clear case of misrepresentation or misinformation that was leading children to being harmed. It was allowing to spread so freely, and that they were able to exploit this platform so effectively. Well, that's how YouTube operates, man. The algorithm does what the algorithm does, and YouTube is always trying to tweak it out. Now, at the end of the day, I don't want anyone to be hurt. I don't want anyone to hurt themselves or be given bad information that leads them to hurt themselves, whether it's through consuming bleach as a miracle mineral solution or whatever the hell it's called, or trying to cure cancer with this kind of stuff, or believing you can grow a limb back or cure the gay, because there's nothing to cure there. You're perfect the way you are, or anyone doing anything on this platform that can hurt somebody else. Like, I don't want any of that. But it does start to boil down to the question of who gets to make that call and who has the moral authority to make that call. And when that question gets raised enough, then it boils down to the government. And when the government steps in, who knows when they're going to stop? So it does become that question, and that is a very interesting thing for where this platform is going to go over the span of the next couple of years, and not just YouTube, but social media in general.